Hey there, my friend. I hope this finds you well. This video is going to be regarding vision and mission statements. And I know probably what you're thinking, like, yeah, I got that written down in my business plan. Okay, cool. Hear me out for a second before you write me off. It's all fine and dandy that you've written it down and it's in your business plan. If you've done that, if you've actually done that, my question for you would be, have you reviewed it recently? Recently being like in the last few weeks, last month, maybe even the last quarter, last half year, last year, last 5 years. Like, when did you review it last? If you're like, Luke, I review it once a quarter. Fantastic. Great. You probably will just agree with this video and it'll just be further validation of what you're already doing. But you still might pick up some things. Because even if you're reviewing your vision statement and reviewing your mission statement, how connected are you to it? The reason I asked that is because that's actually what inspired this video. Was I had a few conversations, I think there was three conversations with separate individuals, and it just it all came up regarding vision and mission. And these individuals are actually either current or former clients of mine, and the conversations came up as basically, hey, I realize like I'm having the resistance to writing down my vision statement, or hey, I have a vision statement, but it doesn't feel right. Or the third conversation was, I have a vision statement, I have a mission statement, I don't need help with that, but I've got these other problems over here that I need help with. Cool. What it all boiled down to for all three of these individuals actually was having a true connection with what they value and what they deem as a priority in their life. That's where the root of it, that's like the start of it. So from there, it then builds to the vision and then thus the mission statement. So before we go any further, what is a vision statement? What's a mission statement? What a vision statement is what you are seeing for yourself accomplishing in the future, right? An example, build 100 homes for widows. Cool. End a specific type of suffering. Something like that. Something big, usually pretty audacious, like it's going to take a long time to accomplish. For some, it's like a life vision. It's for the rest of their life, like they're committing the rest of their life for that. For others, it's seasonal. Hey, until I've accomplished this, like my next thing is to accomplish blank. And if that takes me the rest of my life, great. But if it takes me 5 years, cool, I'll reassess at that point. A vision statement can also apply to just a business or your profession or your sport, whatever your thing is, right? Oh, my vision is to have a business in the next 6 to 10 years that has a valuation of $30 million and X blah, 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 right? Okay, that's a vision for that company in the future, right? The mission statement is basically talking about how you're going to operate in order to accomplish the vision. Okay, so that's the mission statement. So you have to have a vision statement in order to have a mission statement, right? Those two things tend to get confused, but they are actually different. And your personal vision statement and mission statement are going to directly influence your business or professional or whatever your other vision and mission statement is. So it's important to understand what your the personal side is before you can really conquer the business side. So for these three individuals, like I was just talking about, it really boiled down to they needed to connect or reconnect with their personal vision and mission statements. And we start by looking at what is it that I actually value. Oh, I'm a man of God. Okay, cool. Like, do you actually value that? Or are you just saying it? No, I actually value it. Great. Let's look at the daily habits. Let's look at the weekly rhythms. Is your life showing that that's what you value? Well, no. I haven't gone to church in 6 months. Okay. I haven't opened my Bible in 3 years. Okay. I think I pray maybe like once a month. Okay, cool. So you say you value God, but you're not practicing it. Okay? Well, I value my family. Okay, how much time do you spend with them? Oh, I spend every Friday night. We do sushi night, or whatever. On Sunday nights we have popcorn. Like, okay, cool. Or I go on a date with my wife once a month. That's great. I've seen some. Oh, I go on a date with my spouse every week. That's great. But here's the question: how present are you with them? Because a relationship is not about not about the quantity of time. It is about the quality of time. So how is the quality of time that you're spending with them, not just the number? Does that make sense? So you get where I'm going with this, hopefully. It's really assessing, like, am I actually practicing what I say I value? First, we have to identify what it is we actually value. For a lot of folks, it's I value all these things. And then when they get down to the nitty gritty, they have all these things, and really it's like half that. And the things they truly value and the reasons they started in their business or their venture, whatever their thing is, in the first place was to do more of that. And come to find out, that's what's getting sacrificed right now. That's the thing that they're sacrificing in order to build this business. I don't know about you, that doesn't make any sense. So their vision was to spend more time with their family. Their vision was to donate to their church and to volunteer and be involved and to go to all their kids' games or just maybe not even that, but just to be present with their family, take meaningful vacations and have meaningful conversations around the dinner table and, that type of thing. But that's the things that's getting sacrificed. So if we're not prioritizing it, then we're showing where we don't value it. So where I'm going with this is, for one in particular that's coming up for me at one of these conversations, was they were trying to connect with their mission statement. And he came to me and was like, hey, I have this vision. It's big, it's audacious. The BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal, that was his vision. It was very audacious. And he's like, where I'm struggling is the mission. Because at the end of the day, I don't think I believe that I can actually accomplish it. That's a problem. What I know about him through working with him and just by how he was talking, even if I didn't know anything about him, just by the way he was talking and using some key words and phrases, it was very clear. Okay, so you don't trust yourself. Bottom line, you don't trust yourself. And the reason you don't trust yourself is because you've quit on yourself or you failed yourself. As an example, you said you prioritize family and quality time and God, but you haven't, all the examples I just talked about. Right? That's a common condition for most. And so when we looked at, those weren't his specific things, but just to connect it for you. He looked at some things and went, okay, yeah, you're right. I have been quitting on myself and I haven't been honest with what I actually value and prioritize because I haven't been practicing it. Okay, well, that doesn't build trust with yourself. I should probably have started with this. Did you know that you actually have a relationship with yourself? Relationships are a two-way street, yeah? With your spouse, with your kids, with your parents, with your friends, with your it's a two-way street. You can put all the work into it that you want. At the end of the day, if it isn't reciprocated, to some degree, there really isn't a relationship there because it's two-sided. Same with yourself, right? Well, how can you be two-sided with yourself? It's so confusing. You know what I mean. That self-talk that you have, and you only let the negative part of you dominate. You only let the anxiety part of you dominate. You're allowing that side of the relationship to dominate it, and you're staying quiet. That isn't a relationship. That's being dominated by the negative part of you, right? That leads to failing yourself and quitting on yourself, which leads to a lack of trust. See where I'm going? So when we do that, it creates a disconnect from our mission and our vision, specifically our vision, because how can we accomplish, like this one person I'm talking about, there's one client, How can you have a strong mission and therefore, like I said, it's how to do the thing. How are you going to know what to do if your mission is disconnected because it's disconnected from your vision because you're disconnected from your vision? How are you going to operate? You can't. Not effectively. That's where chaos is bred. That's where reactivity is bred. So instead of going like, oh, I can see down the path and I know a fork in the road is coming, but my map is all smudged and I don't remember which path I'm supposed to take. That's basically what's happening. But when you understand what you actually value and what you actually prioritize, and then you start practicing it, you start practicing the values that you have. I value God, so I'm gonna go to church. Maybe I can't make it every week. Maybe you have that's fine. Or I value my family, and maybe you can't spend a lot of time with them. But the time you spend, you better darn well make sure that it is quality time, even if it's only a few minutes. It goes a lot further with people even if it's 15 minutes. I wrestled with my kids for 15 minutes the other day because that's all I had. But I was fully in the moment. I was fully a WWE star, and we were wrestling, man. And that's all they needed. That's all they needed. It was literally, I think it was 12 minutes. 12 minutes. That's what they needed. And they talked about it the rest of the day. I told their mom, everything. It was amazing. But that it didn't take much because they knew I was fully present and I was fully theirs in that moment. Start practicing the things that you value, truly value, and make them a priority. Then look at what is the vision for my life. Okay, how am I going to accomplish it? Okay, it's through this business. Great. What is the vision of that business? Great. What's the mission of that business? You see how this becomes a hierarchy? It is a hierarchy, a process you have to walk through. And if you don't walk through it in the right order, you will be confused. You will be working your tail off and going, why am I working so hard? Nothing's happening. Why am I on this hamster wheel? I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm failing. I'm not good enough. I'm angry. That will be you. Maybe it already is. If you can understand what you value and practice it, prioritize it, then translate it into a vision and a mission for your life, which part of that mission is going to be your business or your thing. Then you replicate that process in that thing, that business or that profession. Now we're operating in alignment. Guess what? That's like all of a sudden the map is no longer smudged. You're coming up on this fork in the road. It goes to the left, it goes to the right, it goes down the middle. How the paths go up and down and all around, and then there's other forks in the road along the way. And now you have a clear map and go, oh, that's right. These two paths over here, they don't align with my priorities and my values. So therefore, I must go left. Decision made. You didn't even have to make it. All you did is look at the map and be like, oh yeah, go left because this over here doesn't serve me. This path does. So many people are operating, so many entrepreneurs are operating without that clarity, without that alignment, and they're just shooting in the dark. Tired of seeing it, and it's painful. It's painful to watch. I've been there myself. It is painful to be there. So that's why I say when I see people in that situation, it's painful because I've been there and I've experienced it multiple times. So when these three conversations happen over the course of the last, 10 days or so, I'm like, you know what? I just need to say something. So here's my something to say about it. If you need help recognizing what your values are and where you fall in these core values, if you will, in these core areas that you should be prioritizing or most likely be prioritizing, you need help identifying that, I've built a tool for you. It's free to use. It's called the Cipher. And the whole idea is to decipher your alignment. So you take the self-assessments very in depth, but it only takes about 10 minutes. And once you go through it, it'll score you in 8 core areas. And these core areas are the top 8 core areas that I've seen be, and I personally feel that these are the top 8 core areas that most people are looking to gain some element of control on, and that it's a struggle because they're big areas. So if you're struggling with identifying it and replicating this process that I just talked about, take the Cipher. It's free. It's going to take you 10 minutes. You'll get a score. You'll get some suggestions. And then you can implement some changes and see what happens. Then take it again, maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months. Maybe you end up joining our community or whatever. Maybe we end up working together. Maybe not. That's not the point. The point is I want you to have a free tool that you can do in a few minutes, see where you land, and then you can decide, how am I going to change things? If you're going to change things at all. I encourage you to. We all can use the work. We work on ourselves. I mean, we can all benefit from working on ourselves. So that's my hope. That's my offer for you. Take the Cipher. It's free. And worst case scenario, you don't do anything with the information. But hopefully you walk away a little bit more aware. Hope this bless you. I hope this is valuable to you. And I'll see you on the next one.